Hello, and welcome to today's stream. You have questions. I will have answers for you. The reason why we're looking at Willem Dafoe is because when I started OBS, so from Voices of the Void like 2 days ago, that whole thing about my foot and like the green screen was funny. And the first thing I saw when I started OBS was Willem Dafoe looking up. So I was like, okay, let's just start stream like this because I thought it really fit the mood today. I thought it really fit the vibe today. POV, you're looking up at me, and it has that shadow, like the pancake shadow. You know what I mean? But welcome to this stream. Today is going to be a very interesting day because I barely have anything planned, so we're gonna have to figure out how this goes. But I got enough. I scrambled to figure out what my interest was, just in time for us to do things. Now I've also got some updates for you, as well. But I thought it'd be funny to start the day off with a funny little video. Yes, that's right, a funny video that isn't just Willem Dafoe looking up at the sky. There's an even funnier video that I want to show you. It's actually a very old video that I found from like a random thread. It's very weird actually, but I enjoyed it because it felt a lot like what my first ever D&D session was, and I was like, I have to show you this. This will only really appeal to maybe like two of you, so I mean, let's see how it goes. No, wrong video. That's for later. That's for later. Sorry, that video's for later. Don't worry about that. This one.
Galstaff, you have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark room. The pungent stench of mildew emanates from the wet dungeon walls.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you.
I cast a spell. Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh.
I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a Mountain Dew?
Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew. Just go get it. I can cast any of these, right? On the list?
I can
Yes,
cast any of these,
the
right?
first level one.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast magic missile.
A room where he's
I wanna
casting
cast
all these
magic
spells
missile.
from. He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am though. If you'd listen, I'm casting magic missile.
Why are you
Magic
casting
missile.
magic missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Fine. You attack the darkness. There's an elf in front of you.
Whoa, that's me, right?
He's wearing a brown tunic, and he has gray hair and blue eyes.
No, I don't. I have gray
This
eyes.
exact moment
Let
happened
me
to
see
me.
that shit.
Well, it
In a
says I
D&D
have.
game.
Well, it says I have blue, but I decided I wanted gray eyes.
Whatever. Okay, you guys
Exact
can
moment
talk to
happened to
each
me in
other
the
now if
D&D
you
game.
want.
Hello.
That
I'm Galstaff, sorcerer of light.
Then how come you had to cast magic missile?
You guys are being attacked.
Do I see that happening?
No, you're outside by the tavern.
Cool, I get drunk.
There are 7 ogres surrounding you.
How could they surround us? I had Mordenkainen's magical watchdog cast.
No, you didn't.
I'm getting drunk. Are there any girls there?
I totally did. You asked me if I wanted any equipment before this adventure, and I said no. But I need material components for all my spells, so I cast Mordenkainen's faithful watchdog.
But you never actually cast it.
Roll the dice to see if I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, you are.
Are there any girls there?
Yeah.
I did, though. I completely said when you asked me.
No, you didn't. You didn't actually say that you were casting the spell. So now there's ogres, okay?
Ogres?
Now there's
I
ogres.
got an ogre slaying knife. It's got a +9 against ogres.
You're not there. You're getting drunk.
Okay, but if there's any girls there, I want to do them.
This is so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. So yeah, that came from a video game, and I saw that and I was like, it's so perfect because it really captures that first time D&D vibe. First time in D&D, I forgot what character that I was playing, so I had to constantly bug my buddy, who's also a chat member actually, to like remind me who it was. And then I made the character like they were able to like juggle berries. So like every single a move that I did, I had to roll to see if there'd be a new enemy because one of my berries would like drop down and like be like mad. What a great little like just slice of life for D&D stuff. I'm surprised there aren't more like D&D like comedy stuff or like just slice of life stuff. Though I heard the movie or like I saw the scenes. Basically, I watch movies through those like online clips. So it's like was it Movie Mojo or something, and you watch it and they have like a 1 out of 10 clips for D&D movie, and it's like the highlights because it cuts out all the exposition. So I feel like I've watched the entire movie now. But that movie looked like it was pretty much just like a slice of life comedy D&D thing. So it seemed cool. Yep. On to some news, chat. This workplace is a bit of a shit show. I haven't gotten paid yet, so they're now 2 weeks late to my invoice. And I was dissecting. So I do this thing a lot where I dissect the companies that I work at because I think you should. You should always dissect where you work at because you need to read between the lines, right? Because they won't tell you things. Like they won't tell you specifically what's going on. I think my assessment of their runway being a year is actually less than a year. I think I think my assessment of their runway is actually way less than a year. I'm thinking maybe 3 months. 6 figures, 0 figures, just zeros, just 0 after 0. Again, I don't need you to sub or anything. I'm still making a lot of money. I have money, so don't worry about it. But I was looking back on it and I was sort of like seeing the signs now, right? There were some things that they said that were interesting. One, the cutting expenses to get burn rate down. So burn rate is like how much money you spend on a consistent basis in order to run your business, right? Think of it as all of your expenses, all of your costs. For them to say that in the middle of a big product push says to me that they are unsure about the reliability of funding, which is kind of like the death knell of an early stage startup like this. The death knell is when you don't have a way to secure funding. Funding is always a very hard thing to do. It's very difficult to do. It's sort of like the thing the CEOs hate doing most of the time because it's just boring as shit. But what I see from them is this attempt at getting funding that I think is falling apart. And it's fascinating because it was a slip up. It was a slip up from the chief guy that we basically work under, right? Well, not really under. We work with him. The engineering team is like a whole separate team. But we were talking to him and getting those like small hints. I was like, yeah, it's bad. So I shot my buddy there who like works there. I gave him like a quick like heads up, like I think this is what's gonna happen. And then he was like, yeah, I think so too. So I think everyone knows that's gonna happen. But I'm getting out. My contract will get paid because I have legal stipulation, and I have the nuclear option of going with a lawyer, which like really helps. And I know that the CEO is rich, so going with a lawyer does give me the ability to milk him. Basically, I like milking him. I like milking CEOs. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. There's some other like major red flags too. I mean, not getting paid is like the major red flag. It's probably the largest red flag that you can ever have, right? This payment is the critical portion of your company. You don't want to get to the point where you are not getting paid, right? And you don't want to run a company that has a reputation of not paying people, because both are death knells in any society. A lawyer, yes, we may have to lawyer up at my job very soon. If they don't pay my invoice by Monday. So they're already like 2 weeks late. And actually, you know what's funny is my job ends in 3 days. So after the 11th, I'm done. And then I send my final invoice. So it's like, you guys got to pay the contract, and it's not happening. So I don't know. But yeah, there's a couple of other red flags. They have no clue what's going on. And we've just been given, like, the engineering team has just been given the okay. That sucks. Don't worry. I still have money. This is not a cry for help. I still have money. I'm still very fortunate. Please don't take it that way. But it does suck because it's like annoying. And like if I was in any worse situation, I wouldn't be able to manage that, right? I'm just lucky and fortunate that I'm able to sort of like tide myself over for a fairly long time. So, but yeah. So the other thing too, they're at the point where they should be like building something, but they don't know what they want to build yet. And it's fascinating to sort of see that they have no clue what's going on and what they want to do. It's almost scary the way that happens. It's still stressful. Yeah, exactly. It's still stressful. Yeah. I mean, I am stressed over it, but it's why we're here, streaming, to have fun, and me venting to all of you. This company has no clue what's going on. So basically, they don't know what they're building yet. So this is the other death knell, I think, of a startup, right? Because a startup should know what they're building. They should just... The hard part for a startup is always finding people who pay you for what you're building, right? But you should know what you want to build. That is key. You should know what you want to build. You should have a plan in the place to like make it happen. And that should be before you hire someone. Like ideally that should be before you hire like, you know, a team of like 11 people. Because the whole team is like 11 people spread across things. People are being promoted to the C level. It's like, I don't know if this really works when we haven't even figured out what we're doing yet. It feels like somebody's like, the more that I look at it, it feels like somebody's like playpen. They don't have a concept yet, so it's weird. They have a concept, but like not a full concept. Like they have like some customers for it, and it kind of works. But they're trying to figure out like how to actually make it like a full thing. Because right now it's just a market test concept. Like it's like they have the test and it's succeeded well, and they have paying customers, but they have a fraction of the paying customers that they should. When I looked at the stats, they were like, yeah, so we have about 5% of the 5% of the people who wanted to use us actually like paying something because we have nothing in like place to like get them going. And I was like, that's really bad. So they're just starting to learn how to like build. Sorry, so they're just starting to learn how to like build their stuff and actually make it work on like some level for a much wider audience. Basically, they're trying to go from an idea in their head that they've just been making work from like a very scrappy state into actually something that's going to be like actually sellable in some way. And so you end up in this case where like they're still making decisions, and actually they've only got maybe 20% of the business like thought out, which is interesting. And not to say that startups know everything, right? But I mean, like 20% of your total product thought out is very different from like having like a good stable business. Like you might not know how to run your business at like 1,000 people, but that's fine. But you better know 100% what you're going to be building and why you're building it, which they still don't. So what ended up happening was that the engineering team, we were sort of like let loose, and they said, look, we don't know what the hell is going on. Like, so the chief guy, which is not the CEO, but like another chief guy, I can't say his title. He was like, look, we have no clue what's going on. Things are in the shitter, right? And then he was like, Stick is leaving in like 3 days, and then it was like, all right, so what? I need you guys to help us. I was like, why did you wait so long to unleash the leash? I don't know why they waited so long. It seems like their talks are falling through very, very quickly. I don't think because the CEO is probably the first time doing this. It just feels like a whole mess. And like the money alone is a red flag because like, you not getting paid means that they don't have a good financial hygiene setup, which financial hygiene is, I think, the most important part of running any relationship, like business relationship. If you can't pay for your stuff, don't even like contact them, right? It's very important. But everything else too, it's like I don't know if they know what they're doing at like a company level or even at like a business level. I don't know what they're doing. So I'm glad that I'm leaving because initially when I first joined on, I was like, it seems kind of good. And then after the first week, I was like, dear God, what have I joined? It took a week for me to see it. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And what's sad is that I can see the Kool-Aid kind of like being drunk by everyone. I think my buddy is still very hopeful about it. I mean, he is a kid, so it's kind of hard for him not to be hopeful. And then we have this like co-op student who was like, hey, we really need help. I have this buddy from school. Like, we don't even have to pay him. And I'm like, oh, dude, like it's going downhill, man. It's you drunk the Kool-Aid. Like that's not what you should be. You should never suggest that. So I immediately raised my like voice. Well, I immediately spoke out against that, and I was like, no, the company needs to pay for the people that they hire. We do not. You don't want that reputation. Well, you don't want to do that to people, right? But I did. For me, top priority is you want to treat people well. But I have to speak of it in business terms because business doesn't have morals. So the first point that I brought up was you don't want your company to be known as a company that doesn't pay people, because when you need to hire somebody, they're not going to come join you because they're not getting paid. 2, you don't want to be known as the company that does that for a very vulnerable segment of the market, which is students who are getting into the industry. That's a very bad look, because if you're willing to do that for them, people with no protection, it means that anybody, could possibly fall victim to it. And then I had to do the morals last, but in my mind, it's morals first. And what's funny is that, so I'm not the only one not getting paid. The other contractor is not getting paid too. And she was doing the design stuff. And she did not get paid yet at all. And we've been trying to figure out how to make this happen for a while now. We don't know what to do. Basically, she's withholding her work. And I'm withholding pieces of my work too. Like, it's kind of annoying because it's like, you really don't want to do that because it sours the relationship in like many different ways, right? It's sort of because there's 3 stages to when you don't get paid. The first is the gentle reminder, right? Because 99% of the time, people are just incompetent. They don't know what they're doing. Not to say that you have to be competent to pay someone, but I think, the average person can do that, but a lot of people like they go even worse than that. And a lot of business people tend to feel like they feel like that's a secondary concern. It's not really important for them. And why don't you believe in the vision? Like there's a lot of incompetencies there. Then the second stage of that, if you don't get paid through a gentle reminder, is you start to withhold work. So you say, okay, I've done the work, but I can't push it to you until I get paid. Like I actually need this money released, and usually I'd have a better contract for this, where it's like, I charge you 125%, and then you get but you get a discount down to the normal rate if you are willing to pay me on time. Right now I'm charging them 125%. But also, I have that, liability and that ability to withhold work because I'm not getting paid for my end of it, right? So there's a lot that I'm able to do within my contract. But even then, that still might not solve it. So it's like the final nuclear option is the lawyering up, sending a very mean letter, as I've heard it told. I think Mike Montero of Mule Design, the guy who made that famous video, "Fuck You, Pay Me," talked about this. He brought his lawyer in, and the lawyer was just like, whatchamacallit. He was, what the lawyer said was the best that they can do is send a very mean letter. And I'm like, yeah, that's that. I mean, that because that's all they really can do. So I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point, and I'm hoping that they're just incompetent, and then I can release my work as well as get my belly pay. Not gonna lie, this got you. See, it got you. Thank you for your brain cells. The loss was appreciated, and it helped us move through all the ads. Thank you. Hope that we're doing well. No, hope that you're doing well. Played up last night. Was it last night? I have no sense of time anymore. It feels like 5 days have passed in the span of like 2. But played up last night was like good. Who was again that like served me slop, like sticky slop? That was funny to me. For context, I was watching the Heb and everyone played up last night. Last night at 2 days ago, and then you can like visit the restaurant in like Played Up by typing visit in the set of chat. And then somebody said, "Oh yeah, you get sticky slop. It's sticky slop." I'm like, "Yum." Yes, the sticky slop. But yeah, it was really good. Thank you for streaming. And I'm going to get into what we're doing today. That was a terrible intro. So what are we doing today? We get some fun things. Well, fun for me, not for the maybe. One, I can't do the cam thing because my computer's gonna die. There's a very good chance that my computer will overheat and like fall apart. If I ever crash, just know that the stream ends there. It was meat soup, but nah. It was a fun night. We're gonna be doing some Resident Evil 4 randomizer. So the BioRand mod, which is kind of like the main randomizer mod for most, if not all, the Resident Evil games, got a new update actually for Resident Evil 4. So I wanted to try it out because it seemed pretty fun. And I remember trying it out for like the other like the older RE4, but like off stream. This was before I started streaming, and it was fun there. So we'll check it out. We're also going to continue Moonring because, as I said before, I didn't have time to plan these streams. The stream content gets a lot better once I quit my job. Well, once my contract ends, and once the lawyering stops. Once the lawyers are done, then it gets a lot better on my planning. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. Mini games. Choose minigame. What? Power Grid. The fuck is this? Why does the Resident Evil 4 mod manager have a minigame? Anyways, yeah, so we're gonna see how this goes. I don't know anything about this randomizer, but I do remember Resident Evil 4 being a fun game, as you all can tell, and I can't wait to see. The writers need to go on strike again. Too much lore. There's too much lore going on. Yes. I know, right? We need all the writers to calm down, and we need storylines to be rehashes of like everything. It is funny that you can like really tell. Like I think people just sort of like never really realize like the importance of these like roles, right? Like there's a fair number of like roles that I feel like people really underestimate. Writers, sound designers, just music in like general, design, right? Both visual as well as like the usability stuff. A lot of those things tend to go to the wayside, and like everyone glorifies like programmers, right? But like, yeah, you've seen me program. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You don't glorify me. I don't know anything. I got my tablet, and maybe the best I can do is a stick figure. That doesn't work. Because when you have a writer strike and you watch a TV show and you realize that the writing has gotten significantly worse, that's when you realize, yes, all these people are really important. For some reason, we always think of like the programmers or like the directors. It's like those are sure, like they like you might need them on some level, but they're not important to the feel of something. Sound engineers are the biggest unsung heroes. There's a really cool I love watching the behind the scenes. Have you ever seen like a Foley person, the people doing the random noises? I love the ways that they think of it, because like I never thought about it, right? Because like when you watch like nature documentaries and you see like tigers walking the like plains and their foot is like crunching in the like grass, right? I think, wow, they have really good microphones. but then I have a microphone and I need to be like 2 inches away for this thing to like hear me. So I'm like, there's no way their microphones can capture the sound of a tiger's foot touching grass unless they mic'd up the like tiger's foot, right? Which you don't see. So it's just some dude who's pretending to be a tiger who's like, it's like, what is going on? That was my dream job for a long time when I was a kid. It's why I trained my throat so much, and then I realized that you don't ever use your throat. So I was like, okay, well, all my training is like useless then, and no one hires for like a Foley like a sound engineer. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's it then. All that movement in my throat for nothing. But I really do like saying it, and it's weird how like it's weird, right? Because like they define the noises. But it's like the truth is, what if that's not what a tiger sounds like? Like, we've never heard an actual tiger. Think about this. It's always just been some dude pretending to be a tiger going like, "Bah!" You know what I mean? Like, it's just some dude. So I don't think a single human out there has ever heard a real tiger except for the camera crew. You remember playing Republic Commando and they had Foley stuff in the extras. Really? Wait, that actually sounds cool. I've actually been meaning to get into some of the Star Wars games because there's a lot of really good ones. I really want to get into Knights of the Night Order or something. What is it? Knights of the Night Order. What's the one where it's like, because I know the story, the one where he's like he's actually gonna go to the dark side or something. Knights of the Old Republic. I'm sorry if that spoiled you. I mean, it's a 20-year-old game. Like, does it really matter? I don't know. Stuff like that, I really want to get into. But then it's like there's other games too. Like I really want to play Summoner because of this. Like for the D&D here, just for you D&D lovers.
Galstaff, you have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark
This came
room.
from a game called
The
Summoner.
pungent stench of mildew emanates
And I want to
from
play
the
this game
wet
because it actually looked like a
dungeon
really
walls.
fun game.
The Cheetos!
They're right next to you.
I cast a spell.
Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh!
I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a
Also, I'm gonna skip ahead to one particular point. Tell me your first D&D session. Tell me your first attempt in a D&D session to like role play was like felt like this. Yeah, magic missile at the darkness. Yeah.
It's me, right?
He's wearing a brown tunic, and he has gray hair and blue eyes.
Wait. Not like that's
Oh,
weird.
I don't. I have gray
Okay.
eyes.
Tell me your first attempt at RP didn't end up like
See that
this.
sheep.
Well, it says I have blue, but I decided.
Where's the
Okay,
Mountain
you guys
Dew?
can talk to each other now. If
This
you
one.
want.
Hello.
Everybody's first attempt at RP, like role play in their character persona, is always just that. Like, cause it's like, what do you do? Like, it's like your first time, so you just say, "Hello."
Hello.
I love it so much. Where's the Mountain Dew? Oh man, I love that video. I'm gonna save it forever because I feel like these like old videos they're gonna slowly disappear. That video is now 18 years old on YouTube. 18. I was like, oh my god. And what's crazy is that, chat, we can re-record a high quality version of it because I can play Summoner. Because Summoner is on Steam now, so we're gonna play Summoner at some point. Get that clip. We're gonna play through the entire game. Get that clip and just upload it in full HD. It's gonna be magical. That's how I get views. That's how I get views. Anyways, we're gonna start the game now. Thank you everyone for showing up. I have no music to show you, actually. I've been sort of like bereft of music recently, just because I don't know. I've just been like, the music that I've been like listening to has been more, how do I say this? Very, very like trance-like, very, very ambient. I think I just really enjoy ambient music when I'm working. Because when I put on like say like Anderson Paak, it's so hard for me to like focus because I'm like jamming out. It's been too many years since your first D&D session, but it may have been that response. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like what you say, right? It's like because like you know that you're your character, but it's like how do you communicate that role play like it's your first time? I don't know because it's so hard to. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm good at it now, right? I still would probably do the same thing. Like if you told me to role play like my character and then you were role playing, if you said something, I would be like, "Hello." Oh man, I love that. We'll figure out like a community D&D session at some point. Like I've seen people's attempts at community D&D, but I think it can be even funnier. I think there's a way for the community D&D to be even more chaotic with like chat, and I have some ideas in mind, but just I need time to make things. I need time to make things. That's really the problem. Is we need the time to like make things. It's already the end of the year. It's so hard. You have the advantage of being started on D&D when you're like 8 or 7. The cringe is forgiven and forgotten. Yes, exactly. Because when you're 6 or 7, right? Like, you are cringe. Like, kids are the embodiment of cringe. Like, I'm not even kidding you. The things that my niece says, I'm like, that's so cringy, but she's so cute. So it's like, I can't be mad at her. Like, she'll say the cringiest thing, and I'm like, oh, you. It's like and you also have no inhibitions. Like you have no fear yet. Like you have no like anxiety. Well, you might have anxiety, but you don't have this like sense of like shame that like is usually learned from other people making fun of you, right? Unless you were bullied right at the age of 6, then I'm sorry, but for the most part, you only really get that when you get to like middle school or like high school, like around that like year of like 10 and above. That's when people get like mean. But until then, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna smite you down, evil demon. And it's like, it's just you with like a giant stick and like a piece of paper in the back of your like collar to like look like a cape. Yeah, good times, good times. Oh, that'd be fun. See, it would be fun. I want to do it in a way that like everybody gets to like rotate being there, but not so fast. Like I want it to be fun for you all, so I'm trying to think of like a way to like do it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because worst case, it just ends up being like a full-on video game that we just make within Sandbox. Because the more that I thought about it, I was like, it's really hard to be a DM because you have to make everything, right? Like, there's a lot of things to make and to keep track of. And it's like you could just make a game for it all at that point. Not to say that I'm successful at that, but play it like the public access TV things. Wait, what? Oh, like that one, the Kill Jester. Yeah, we could actually. We could do like a public access kind of like game show thing. It would be interesting, right? Actually, I have wanted to try that at some point, but I'm like terrified. Like like they used to have those like public access things where people would like call in, and it's like, welcome to Hotline Miami or something, and it's like and they can talk about anything. And then you'll like get like one guy who like joins, and it's like, there's aliens in the sky. And it's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. Next, I want to do that too, but it's like we have to get like a fake Skype number. Like we need like a Skype VoIP number for me to like call things with. And I don't know if Skype still exists. Does Skype still exist? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Skype still. You still need fake phone numbers. I'm pretty sure it's still there. So we might. There's a lot of opportunity there. Mate, that's literally what streaming is, though. So true, King of Queens. So true. You're not wrong. But, like, I want you to have your voice, right? Like, I think it's funny. You know what? We can do that, but with TTS. We can do that, but with TTS. Okay, you know what? There's a plan here. There's a plan here. There's a plan here. I'm going to write this down. There's a plan for it with TTS. So we do TTS, everyone gets in the queue, and you get your moment to like talk in like real time with that as your voice. Because I don't know if I want people's actual voices. Because at least with TTS, I can like filter things, right? But then is it like boring? I can't tell. Like, okay, now that I think about it with TTS, like really, what's the difference to me just having chat on the screen, right? Like where's the iPad? Where is the iPad? Where's the iPad? Like this, like it's the same as like having this, as having a giant crusty iPad on the screen. There's no difference. Actually, this should be a bit lower. The iPad should be a tiny bit lower, actually, to hide the arms. There we go. If you think about building a one-shot based on a sea shanty you've been listening to, I love sea shanties. Please tell me about the one-shot. If you do get around to it, please do. There's something interesting about sea shanties. I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think. The sea shanties in the game are still stuck in my head. I just keep thinking about it a lot. The Assassin's Creed Black Flag sea shanties are still stuck in my head. It's just something fun about the way that they sound. And I keep finding videos of like this like one group that like does the sea shanty performances, and it's just I can't stop watching it. I can't stop listening to it. It's so good. I just love. It's the way that they talk about nothing. The longest Johns. I think maybe I don't know. Let me see. The longest Johns. I'll recognize them by their voice. Although one thing that I did notice, everyone who sings the sea shanty sounds the exact same. There's a sea shanty voice. The longest Johns. Stream City, just the songs. The longest Johns singing stream. Mix, the longest Johns. Santiana. Maybe. 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 It sounds see, but that's a problem, right? Everything sounds the same. All sea shanty singers sound the same. It'll be like the second or third time that you DM, so it's daunting. You know what? But I believe. I'm also excited for it too. I'm also excited. Just know that if you make people role play, it's gonna be very very funny. Like it's just again, it's just like the summoning thing. Sorry, I'm like listening to this song. Holy hell, 8 million views on a sea shanty. I will say, I don't know if I could listen to a sea shanty as like my background music. Like if I had to listen to any kind of music, I don't think I would do sea shanties. But apparently 20 million people listen to a sea shanty while living their like life. Wow. 20 million people. How many pirates are out there? This could just be like a giant network of pirates that is secretly hiding out there, right? This could be just like the One Piece. The One Piece is the unity. This song brought a tear to my eyes. I shed a tear for my friend. 400 days clean and sober. What? This song makes me miss people I don't know. What does that mean? I love you, Dad. I love these comments. These are like these comments are interesting. In case you would like to know, the song is Sail North, Tale of the Shadow. Well, looks like my playlist is gonna be pure sea shanties. At some point, right? Maybe we just start doing like pure sea shanty stuff. They all sound the same. Every single sea shanty like singer has that same like intonation of things. Every single one. Yeah, it's good. It's really really good. Okay, I'm gonna save this. I like this one. Thank you for sharing. My playlist expands. But no more sea shanty. No more sea shanty. I don't know if I can. Again, 20 million views. Like you have to be doing. You might be doing like groceries, and you're listening to sea shanties, and I don't know if I could do that. Or you might be like out, like I don't know. Like some people, you know, like some people listen to music in the shower, and the phone gets really wet, and then when they return the phone, they're like, is it rust inside of your phone? That's what this feels like. Like they're listening to sea shanties. I guess the shower is like the best place to listen to a sea shanty, right? Because you can simulate the feeling of like drowning by just like opening your mouth and like looking up, like ah. Oh man. Oh boy, a sea shanty. Time to really feel it. I'm driving when I listen to it. That's intense. Do you swerve left and right to like simulate the like rocking of the boat? It's like, oh boy, this is the intense part. And then it's like you just doing zigzags down the like road. Everyone's like, no! You're going on a journey while listening. To be fair, that's probably the best place to like to listen to it then. Yeah, because like driving is like a very boring task, right? It just kind of feels like there's like nothing going on. But to feel like you're going on a journey does sound fun. Get a spritzer bottle of sea salt water to simulate the sea breeze. You just have it on like those you know those like Febreze like plug-in things on your wall. Every now and then it'll spray out like a spritz of like the like spray. But just do that, but instead of like the Febreze, you just add sea salt and water and it just sprays out in your face. You need a lot of plugs though, like one at every single portion of your body. Oh man. Well, now I know that you're all pirates inside. We're all pirates deep down in our heart. All of us. but thank you for sharing. That I've added that to the list. We're gonna get right into the game. Give me a moment though, because I need to figure out how to like actually start this. So again, if my computer crashes, just know that that's the end of the stream. Like I'm not gonna like mentally recover. I'm just gonna be like, all right, I'm done. Because my PC, the fan doesn't spin, and I need to replace the entire cooling system. And it's like I'm just too lazy. So I manually what I do every time I start OBS, because OBS is the thing that makes my computer get like hot. I put my finger into my computer fan and I spin it like I'm spinning like a fidget spinner. So I go really fast. I'm like, but I have to keep on going. So I like ramp it up slowly until it starts to like spin like fine. Every day my finger hurts. So let's see if this goes well. Hopefully it does, and hopefully it's gonna be a fun time. You just go back to Cornwall if you want seawater. To be fair, it does sound pretty nice to be near the ocean. I guess the only thing about being near the ocean is that like your hair probably becomes like a mess. Because I remember every time coming back from in Toronto, we have this thing called the Lakeshore. A wonderful creative naming. The reason why it's called the Lakeshore is because it's literally the shore of Lake Ontario. So it's like but it's a huge stretch of land. So like you can just go walk across the entire thing for like a good, like you could probably walk down the lakeshore for like 2 hours before you really like reach the end. So you can go from like one end of the city to the next. It's a beautiful like scenic trail. There's like beautiful almost like open parkways like to like sit. There's like exercise spots. There's like beaches. There's like weird looking apartments that are very creative and cost too much money and are breaking down. It's funny stuff. And there's kayaking. I really want to go kayaking again. Sounds like that I need a new fan. I do. I need a whole new system actually. Well, not a new system, but like just the fan alone. But it's like one of those all-in-ones. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. It's like it's one of those all-in-one coolers, which I regret having, because I'm like, I might as well just get fans alone and not even bother with an all-in-one, right? And just have a fan on the CPU, but I don't know if they still do that, right? Because then it feels like it's the same thing. At least that way, if a single fan breaks, I can I can replace one fan at a time. With an all-in-one, like I'm realizing it's just too annoying to replace them all. At least as far as I can tell. But I also need, but I also don't remember how I plugged it in, so it's like I may just be wrong. But I remember everything needing to be like in the whole system. Plus, I found out that I actually plugged it wrong initially when I built it, because when I go into my system, it doesn't see all the fans. It just sees the one fan, but there's like 5 fans, so I need to add more fans. I just want fans. I want like a whole wall of fans just blowing in the air, like. Woo! You knew how to take care of your hair as a kid, it probably wouldn't have been too bad. Like being able to just go down to the beach and take photos. That's what you miss about not living there anymore. Yeah, that's something. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like when it's more accessible, it's like nice to go to, and it's what's that thing like you know how they have that science of like you or like I don't know if it's science, but like that like vibe of like if you enjoy being near the ocean. Or like humans are just very like, or like humans get like less anxiety and like your cortisol drops when you like hear like water. When it was easier for us to go to the lakeshore, like to go to like near the ocean, we would go for like fairly often. At least I would. I would just go by myself sometimes. I would just take a bus, go down there, like hang out for like 6 hours, just like sitting on the beach and just leave. It was just nice to like chill. You can tell that this is when I had nothing else to like do, or even like after work. But before my like wife, not that my wife has like stopped that, but like when I found my wife, I enjoyed like I wanted to spend more time with her than with the water. But before my wife, but after work, I would go and just sit there, just hang out for like a bit. And then very often we would go and we would like walk from like uptown all the way downtown just to like get there. Just a weird experience, just to be near the water. It's like very very soothing. Long nights at the beach, just hanging out with like friends and stuff. I still remember actually. There was this one time my friend, she was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the beach?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we just went there. I just hung out for the entire day. It's like white noise. Yeah, it's just, but it's like it's like a soothing white noise. It makes you feel connected to the world, and it's like, yeah, I like that. So there's 2 different places that I would live. Well, 3. 1, I want to live in an icy wasteland like the Arctic. I think that's my dream place. If not that, I'd like to live in in a cabin in the woods, or like like a kind of a mansion kind of thing, but not really a mansion, just like a house in the woods where you need to drive up a very long wooded pathway to like get to. Because I like the idea of having like a dark academia era like home that has witchy vibes, right? Then all else fails. In Stardew Valley, the dude with the really long, luscious hair who like lives by the beach. That I want to live like that. It's either that or the fisher person. Either or, right? But those are my top three. And like, if all those fail, sure, I'll take an apartment. I'll take anything at that point. I mean, you can't be too picky, not in this economy. You like that you can now hear the birds where you live instead of the constant cars/ambulance going down the road we lived on. I mean, like he said, constant cars/ambulance. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was gonna make a joke about the like knife bin thing that we talked about last time, but like, yeah, because it's like I had that same problem now too, where it's like I miss that like silence, being able to like hear things. What's interesting is that the most quiet place that I've ever lived in, where I could hear a lot of nature, was by a train track. Because we don't really have like many train tracks very, very often, or like many trains very, very often, right? So in between those moments, you just hear nature, and there'd be so much nature. There'd be like a skunk family that like would like live under our like home, which was very, very cute. They would leave to go get stuff and then come back. There'd be like a weird little like just a like posse of like feral cats that I used to hang out with very, very often. There'd be birds, all kinds of really cool like birds. It was so nice. And then like here, for instance, like it's just constant car noises, ambulances, police cars. It's just the urban noises get very, very annoying. So it is interesting though that like you being near the ocean had that more versus now. Though I guess if you've moved away into the countryside, then that makes sense. Because it's like because like ocean stuff is typically like where the downtowns are. Because like oceans tend to be like the natural port sides of like the ports, right? So you grew up next to a train line, not a major one, but you do miss the sound of trains going past. Yeah, there's something very oddly peaceful about it. It depends. When you're trying to take a nap like during the like day, it's annoying because you can't predict when the trains will like, go, right? Because I used to live by a freight train line, so whenever it would go, wouldn't even know what time it would go. It was just one day I'd take a nap and I wake up because it's like ah, and then or even okay, there was a period of time when I had to work like late night and I would have to sleep during the like day. And so what would happen is that like when I would try to sleep during the day, all you'd hear is like da-dun, da-dun, da-dun. It was so bad that I ended up getting like I ended up basically soundproofing like a small box of like a very, very small box like place. Just put my blanket on the floor and just slept inside there to like prevent noise. Good times. Good times. I do miss trains. I do miss trains. I'm pretty sure we have a train strike at the moment in like Canada. I'm like 90% certain that we have a train strike at the moment. 90% certain. Well, anyways, that's all the train stuff at least. Actually, number 4, I'd want to live near a train track, but like those like old style like quaint ones, like the very like the ones in Japan. I know it's like I'm saying this, but like the ones in Japan was like a small village train. I kind of want that because that sounds like it'd be a very cool vibe. Because when it comes, because it only comes like once a week, and so it's like it's the one time that everyone has to like know, and it's like nice to just sort of make that like your event for the week. But the only problem you remember hearing a lot about was that the port meant it was too easy for illegal drugs, so it's not all sunshine and roses. No, it's true. Yeah, I think we have a problem now too in Toronto, because like we have this thing called the Toronto Islands. It's just islands all the way out in the. It's literally just a bunch of random islands, right? People live there. Like people live on these islands, so they need goods and like stuff, right? Very often, people get caught bringing drugs. Like it's a fairly common occurrence because like where you have people want to do drugs, and when you're rich and you live on an isolated island, you kind of want to do drugs too. But it's not even isolated. It's like a theme park island too. It's such a weird island. So like when they bring over goods and like stuff, they have to do like a whole check and stuff. I've very often I've heard stories of like drugs being like found. So it is true. It is true. Plus, what's funny actually is that I'm pretty sure you can bring drugs over by just kayaking, because you can get a kayak to go from the main Toronto like landmass to the islands. And I know that sounds crazy because you have to cross an entire lake, but the lake isn't that large. It's maybe like an hour's worth of like kayaking, or like an hour or two. Okay, so you go across because you can see the island, so you know when you're getting closer. The only fear really is like a riptide, which is fine. Like it's just it's whatever. You could theoretically transport a lot of illegal goods and no one would like know because you just hide it inside of your kayak. Maybe there's a business there that would explain why the kayaking business is so huge actually. Because the people who like rent out those like kayaking boats, maybe that's how they always have business. Because I think like okay, like how often can you go kayaking between the islands before you get bored, right? But now I think about it, it's like what if they're the ones distributing and ferrying across like items to like have. You've opened my mind here. Also, those islands are infested by fire ants. Like, actually infested. We stepped on one. Okay, so it was so funny. I was kayaking with a bunch of friends. We landed on the island, and then we thought, because it was our first time, and we thought, wow, we're finally safe. We're at peace. We can take off our shoes, sit down, and like rest. I put my foot down, looked at the floor, and I just saw everything. Ants everywhere. How's the tinfoil hat going? The tinfoil hat's going strong. I know what's on the islands. And then so like you would step on the island, and there'd be like fire ants everywhere. And then you would look up, and there's spiders everywhere because they like drop from the trees. And like 5 steps away, there'd be someone's house. So somebody there was just living with a constant barrage of fire ants and spiders. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this place is hell. So I just dipped my foot inside the water, and I was like, well, let's get out of here. I think still to this day, I'll find like a fire ants in like a backpack somewhere, just because it all came from that one island. But you know what? I'm taking off the tinfoil hat. We got to take off the tinfoil hat. It's coming off. We're going into the game. Resident Evil 4. Let's see if this works. I have no clue if the randomizer works. I sure hope so. Willem Dafoe, we don't need you anymore. Let's see if this works out well. If I crash, you know the deal. The stream simply ends.